Hey gamers, Rob from ZborGaming here, back with another weapon guide, and today we are looking at the FAL Assault Rifle for Modern Warfare and Warzone. So this gun recently got a buff. It was given another damage range, a close-up damage range, and so this is what I would consider probably a top-tier weapon in the game now, so let's go ahead and take a look at the FAL. So this is one of the first weapons you will get in the game. It's unlocked at level 1. Has a max level of 67. Like I said, I consider this a top tier weapon now. Camo requirements are common amongst all the assault rifles over here in the bottom left hand. The base stats, so like I said, this was recently buffed and given a new damage range now here from 0 to 20 meters. It does 105 damage to the head, 78 to the chest, and 65 to the stomach and limbs. Has a magazine size of 20 bullets, a fire rate of 485 RPMs, and a fairly quick ADS speed at 228 milliseconds. Does massive damage per second at 945 to the head and 702 to the chest. Has an empty reload time of 3.57 seconds and a partial reload of 194. I've got all the attachments listed out here as well as their unlock levels and a couple loadout suggestions, and I'll go through the loadouts here in more detail a little later in the video. But right now, head on over to ZborGaming.com. There will be a link in the description below to the FAL weapon page, and that page will have a lot of these infographics that you'll see in the weapon guide here. So definitely head on over there. Plus, I've got various weapon guides and other infographics for the other guns in Modern Warfare. So if we take a look at some of the advanced stats here for the FAL, it's got a couple different drop-off ranges, one at 20 meters, like I said, one at 45 meters. You can see here, I'll get into a little more detail on the damage in another slide. Bullet velocity is 927 meters per second, movement speed's 94%, and the strafe speed's 48%. The recoil is fairly tight for the assault rifles due to the fact it's a semi-automatic. Like I mentioned, it does have 20 bullets as well as 40 in reserve. As far as some of the specialized attachments, we really pretty much just have some barrels and ammo. I'll go through the barrels in a little more detail here when I show you the recoil patterns for those. And as far as the ammo, basically you get increased ammo, minimal impact to your ADS speed, as well as movement speed. So if we take a look at the various attachments which affect the ADS speed for the FAL, you got the stipple grip tape, the ultralight barrel, the OSW para barrel, tack laser nose stock, and the FSS close quarter stock. You can see here that about the best you'll do is get about a 2-frame improvement. You can stack a few of these together. On the whole, though, you can get some fairly quick ADS speeds under 200 milliseconds with the FAL. As far as movement speed, this is something new that I've added to this weapon. Don't have in any of my other weapon guides right now. And that is the movement speed for various attachments. So on here you can see that the OSW para, the nose stock, and the Merc foregrip will help you move faster. This ultralight is a very, very minimal improvement. It's basically not even noticeable. As far as decrease, the marksman barrel, the 30-round mags, and the commando foregrip are going to be the attachments that will slow your movement speed down the most. As far as your ADS movement speed, if you want to boost that up, the nose stock will boost it by 20%, the factory aluminum by 10%, and the OSW para by about 3.7% faster. Note that the tack stalker and the Merc foregrip both slow you down about 12%. As far as the recoil, we have a whole variety of attachments here which help with your recoil, either stabilization or control, as well as some with your aim stability. You can take a look at that here. And you can see the base recoil pattern. After you shoot that first bullet, it basically kicks to the right and up some. Here you can see it kick to the right and up a little bit, and here it kicked more to the right. These were all just base weapon, no attachments. And sometimes it depends on how fast you can pull the trigger. If you're a little bit slower, you might get something like this. If you're a little faster, it might be a little bit more spread out. So as far as the damage, up close, you can see in hardcore, really at any distance, the FAL is a one-shot kill. For enemies with 100 health in standard multiplayer as well as Warzone, you can see that at most it's a 3-shot kill at distance to the stomach, limbs, and chest. And it's a 1-shot kill up close to the head. If you're playing Warzone with the FAL, if you have a fully armored enemy under 20 meters, it's going to be either a 3 or 4-shot kill. And if you're at distance, it will be up to an 8-shot kill with the FAL. So with this, how does the FAL rank amongst all the weapons? So amongst the assault rifles, you can see here that I took a couple different ranges as well as head or chest. And you can see that headshots, time to kill, and damage per second, the FAL is either first or tied for first amongst all the assault rifles. It's number 2 in chest time to kill and DPS, and 3 and 4 at a little bit farther range. And over here you can see what assault rifles are top in the class. As far as in Warzone, if you're up close, headshots, the FAL is number 1 amongst all the assault rifles, as well as chest time to kill. It has the fastest time to kill amongst all the assault rifles. And then you can see here that the M4 with the 458 rounds basically beats it out in the other categories. But keep in mind you have half the ammo with the M4 that you do with the FAL. So now, how does it rank amongst all the weapons in the game? So this was just the assault rifles. You can see here the FAL does quite well. It's tied for first as far as headshots time to kill, because there's a whole bunch of guns in the game that will one-shot to the head up close. And you can see here the Dragunov actually performs very well. As far as headshot DPS, it's number 2 behind the SKS. And you can see here it's number 7 in head time to kill in Warzone. But on the whole, it's a very serviceable weapon amongst all the weapons in the game and ranks in the top 5 in several categories. So if we take a look here at the ADSB, the aim stability, and the recoil of the FAL at 25 meters. I apologize, this video looks like it's taking a little bit to load. Looks like it's not going to load, so you know what, we're just going to go ahead and swap this. I'll put this video on the website, so go ahead and check that out later. As far as the base recoil testing of the FAL, I showed you this before. It's got a pretty tight pattern, one of the tightest amongst all the assault rifles, except for maybe the FR 5.56. Now, if we take a look at the muzzle attachments, you can see here that that compensator gives you a really nice pattern. Takes away a lot of that side-to-side bounce. And really, with the muzzle brake, after that first bullet, everything lines up pretty good. So both of these attachments will help with some of that recoil control. The compensator definitely helps quite a bit. Now, if we take a look at the barrels, so here's the base recoil pattern over here. I put the ADSB, the bullet velocity, as well as the base damage ranges. So what the ultralight barrel will do is that will give you about a half frame faster ADS speed, but it does slow down your bullet velocity by about 18%. But you can see here in doing that, it actually affects your recoil as well. You get quite a bit more spread in the recoil, and that's not mentioned anywhere in the description here. So watch out with this ultralight barrel. The recoil pattern is actually quite a bit worse than just the base weapon. Now with the marksman barrel, you get a 25% increase to that damage range, so your base range is 0 to 25 meters now. You get 33% faster bullet velocity, and you can see the recoil control is about the same or a little better than the base recoil. You will ADS 3 frames slower, and you'll move about 2% slower. And with the 13-inch OSW parabarrel, you can see here that you will ADS about 1 frame faster, move about 1 frame faster, but your bullet velocity is cut down by about 14%, and you can see that you get a little bit more bullet spread and recoil here on the pattern. So frankly, I'm not sure if the 1 frame ADS and 1% movement speed is really worth it with this barrel. I would suggest either not picking a barrel at all or go with the marksman barrel. So if we take a look at the rear grip and the nose stock, this actually surprised me quite a bit here. Now the nose stock says it affects your recoil control, and you can see it definitely does. You get a lot more kick up and to the right with the nose stock. But the rubberized grip tape here actually looks like we had a worse recoil pattern. Yet it says it's supposed to help with your recoil control. So this one surprised me a little bit. You'll see in one of my later loadouts, I actually shy away from the rubberized grip and go with the granulated grip instead. And part of that is because of this reason right here. So if we take a look at the various underbarrel attachments, you can see the Commando foregrip helped quite a bit. The bipod, I did this crouched. The Merc foregrip wasn't too bad, and you can see here the tactical foregrip and the operator foregrip. Again, the operator foregrip really surprised me here. It says it's supposed to help with your recoil control, and it was all over the place. Same with the Ranger foregrip. It says it helps with recoil control and aim stability, and you can see I got a massive kick to the right here with the Ranger foregrip. So if you're going with a foregrip on the FAL, I would stick to the Commando or the Merc, because frankly a lot of the rest of the foregrips did not perform very well with this weapon. So looking at some test loadouts here, I went first with the recoil and accuracy build. So I took that compensator, the Commando foregrip, I used the rubberized grip, and the VLK optic marksman barrel, and you can see I got a really tight pattern, a little bit of kick to the right. On the whole, it was a very tight pattern for the FAL. And then I chose a little bit more of a balanced loadout here. You've got a reflex optic, a close quarter stock, the stipple grip, and that marksman barrel. So here you get a decent blend of ADS speed, as well as you get that damage range of the marksman barrel. So this is a very good loadout as well. I would suggest if you're looking at engaging enemies from a little bit farther away, go with this build. If you want a little bit more of a run and gun, go with this balanced build here. I don't really recommend this fast ADS build. A lot of people like to kit their weapons out to get really fast ADS. But in this case, you can see with the FAL, the recoil was all over the place. After the first shot or two, it was really just kicking way up and to the right. So be aware of that. You can run a fairly fast build with it. But if you're wondering why you're not killing enemies on that second and third shot, this is probably why. And my guess is a lot of people have stayed away from this weapon because they like to kit them out for high mobility. And with the FAL, in this case, it's a really bad choice. This is meant to be more of a mid-range semi-automatic weapon. So now, last one I did here was a balanced stealth build. I got the 30-round mags, Merc foregrip, the marksman, threw the monolithic suppressor in there to get some stealth. And then in this case, I used the granulated grip as opposed to that rubberized grip tape. And you can see we got, again, a pretty good pattern here. This has the suppression, you get some a little more mobility, and you get some extra rounds in the magazine. So again, this is just more screenshots of the different loadouts. Here you have the accuracy build. Here you have the balance build, which I talked about. And then that second balance build where I have the 30-round mags and the monolithic suppressor. So highly suggest heading over to the website. Take a look at the description below. I've got a lot of these infographics. I also have some other information up there. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. The FAL is a top tier weapon now with the new change. You see a lot of people running it. I've been in a lot of lobbies now where people are using this weapon quite a bit. So I highly recommend it. Again, hey, thanks for watching. Please comment, like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll have more videos coming out soon.